Hello, welcome to episode 1 of Bedtime Stories with Kodiak. Today we're going to be reading Two Inspiring Places, the short story. So relax, grab something comfy, and just get lost in the story. Enjoy. Once upon a time, an elderly man named Luke lived in a beautiful country house located on the outskirts of the city. He was fascinated by gardens, so he had built one himself with numerous beautiful plants with lush flowers in his home. In addition to the garden, Luke's house was surrounded by a majestic forest full of leafy trees, shrubs, ferns, and other types of plants that gave the place extraordinary beauty. One day, when Luke was out for a walk in this forest, the old man suddenly saw, at a distance and hidden among the foliage of some bushes, a small being about 2 feet tall that seemed to be very busy with something. When he approached to see it, Luke discovered that the strange creature had a youthful appearance and was dressed in extravagant outfits, bright and brighter colors. "Who are you? What's your name?" asked the old man. "My name is Demure, and I am a gnome, a spirit of nature," replied the little man. "Wow, I had heard of your existence, but I never believed it to be true," Luke commented, surprised. "We are not used to being seen by humans," replied the gnome. "And what are you doing here?" asked Luke. "Well, I'm working. The gnomes are guardian spirits of the earth. We take care and protect it, keep it free from impurity, and protect it from all disturbances. In addition, we prepare the ground so that Mother Earth shelters in her entrails the seeds that, when germinated and bear fruit, will serve as the food for the human race," explained Demure. Luke didn't know what to say. He had been dumbfounded by the shock. Then the gnome took him by the hand and said, "Come, I will take you to see my village." The creature made a movement with its right hand like one who opens a window, and soon a kind of colony made up of hundreds of small, colorful houses appeared before them, inhabited by gnomes of different factions and clothes, all fascinating. The panorama was amazing. Thousands of bushes with beautiful flowers in bright colors adorned the houses, and beautiful waterfalls with crystalline waters culminated in rivers or splendid ponds. "Looks like heaven," Luke thought, dumbfounded, and Demure said to him in a funny tone, "It is not paradise, but it is to be very similar to it." "How did you guess what I was thinking?" asked the surprised man. The gnome replied, "We gnomes can communicate telepathically with each other or with others." "I would like to stay here a little while longer," Luke said to his companion, but the gnome announced that it was time to return to the real world, making another movement with his right hand, now like someone closing a window. He made the forest where they had long met appear before them. "I didn't want to go back so soon," Luke confessed, a bit sad. "Don't worry, one day we'll meet again," Demure replied, and when Luke turned to say goodbye to his friend, he had disappeared. The old man returned home, excited by all that he had seen and heard, but soon had to return to his daily occupation, so he forgot about his encounter with the gnome. Several months passed. Autumn was about to end. Luke was visited by his daughter Laura and some of his grandchildren. These restless and playful children, out over sight of the adults, went to play in their grandfather's garden, leaving everything trampled and battered. "Oh, my garden!" the old man yelled with his hands on his head. But there was nothing to do. The man was filled with resignation and continued to attend to his visits as best as he could. When his family left, Luke began to work intensively on the recovery of his garden. In the days that followed, the old man tried to sow plants and germinate some seeds, but all to no avail. The arrival of winter was already imminent, so the water in the ground was already beginning to freeze and made it impossible for the growth of the seeds to grow. Winter has arrived. The snow covered everything, and its flakes fell like soft cotton on the skin. Desperate, Luke couldn't see the day when spring would come so he could dedicate himself to his gardening work. When spring finally arrived, Luke got up one morning excited to go to work. He was aware that arduous restoration work awaited him, but he was not daunted by this fact. The old man had woken well up when he saw how his garden had been restored and improved with surprise. Not only had they planted it in all kinds of herbs and bushes full of the most varied and fragrant flowers, but they also provided it with practical paths upholstered with colored flagstones and luminous white benches that invited you to sit on them. Furthermore, a charming, fairy-shaped fountain with a pitcher was placed in its center. "How beautiful is all this," Luke exclaimed, ecstatically, feeling a soft touch on his back. It was Nemur's hand, who suddenly appeared at his friend's side. "How long no see," exclaimed the excited man. "Yes, I told you that one day we would meet again." "So this is all you're doing?" asked Luke. "I had many collaborators, including some gnomes, undines, and fairies," Nemur replied proudly. "Oh, Nemur, forgive me for not having gone to the forest to visit you again," the old man said a little sadly. "Don't worry, that we gnomes are capable of stealthy, observing human behavior, and we saw in your enormous love and concern for nature, so we decided to do this for you." "And the gnome? Well, they did a great job," Luke replied, with tears of gratitude and happiness in his eyes. Then the two friends sat on the bench in the renovated garden to tell each other everything that had not been said in months.